Hacksnap / your horror movie podcast.
Welcome back, Hacksnap / to the winteriest time of the year. It's almost Christmas time. We're having a ball. We're making songs. Justin is naughty. He's not nice. He's not whatever the third option is on his shirt.
What is it? Whatever. Whatever.
Whatever, man. I do what I want.
I'll just wear these sunglasses all the time, bro. Like at night.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
So I can.
Oh my God. I don't wear, I'm just tired looking in the morning. I'm just trying to hide my eyes because I'm just not even awake, guys.
I'm just trying to, God, chickens have large towers.
God. I can't even do that voice right now.
Yeah. Do you want to watch me throw this snowball over that barn over there?
Are you guys having a killer time or what?
I'm having a killer time.
You guys got a barn elf?
Yeah, dude. You want to come over and have a supper party?
Yeah, dude. Let's like fucking get lit, bro.
Dude, I love barn elves. I have an elf in my dining room. Oh, I don't know what it is, but my grandmother gave this to me from 20 years ago when she was from another country. And it's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. So I put it in a corner of my house, and it's just I don't let my kids touch it. I'm not even joking. Like people will come over and be like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Don't touch it." They're like,
"It's demonic."
And I'm so paranoid. Like I'll take a picture of it later. I wonder if it is from Norway. Like
I
don't know.
Pat its head and like be like, "Don't kill."
I put it in the corner. No joke. I will send you a picture later. It's just a random elf. I can't even believe I'm telling the story, but yes, this random creepy elf from I think it might even be Norway, and it just sits in my dining room. One time, Hunter touched it, my kid, and I was like, "Dude, put it back!" I'm like, "How dare you knock him?" I was like so scared. There you go.
Absolutely
is it an
petrified.
angry elf?
Oh,
yeah, dude. Pet it on its head. Give it a bowl of porridge and be like, "Please don't break all the windows in my house. They're expensive."
Yeah, but I'll take a picture of it later. I'll send it to you guys.
Please don't run me over with the snowmobile.
All right, let's get into this.
All right, Hackstab / before we get started, if you could be so kind as to drop a 5-star review, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit. We are on X, we are on Facebook, we are on Threads, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You name it, we do it. We even got a horror podcast website in the works. It is Hackstab / horror podcast, all one word. Oh my God, that is a mouthful.com. Woo! How we feeling, boys? Well, actually, it's not everything I said. It's just Hackstab / horror podcast.com. Or Hackstab / podcast.com. What have to do? I don't know. I need my coffee. I just brewed it. I haven't drank it.
Hackstab / podcast.com. Follow us now.
All right,
Justin, tell us what we're watching.
Today, we are watching 2023's There Is Something in the Barn, directed by Magnus Martins.
Hey, Maggie, this just came out, right?
Just came out. Literally came out like in the last 2 weeks. Came out in Norway like a month early, but this is brand new. And who's going to kick us off? We got what? Waterboy leading us off?
Waterboy!
I'm leading us off. You guys ready?
Hold
on. Before we get into it, I want to ask you guys what your expectation rating was going into this. This is something I want to do on the podcast. I like it.
All right, well, I didn't even see a trailer for this at all. Like no? I went into this not knowing what the fuck could possibly be in this barn. I didn't even look at any like poster art or anything. Like
there's a black coach in this barn.
Casting completely blind. So I my expectations are always high, and then I move them down lower as it,
Just Justin, give us just your thought. So when I saw that this movie looked awesome with all the snow and that there was going to be barn elves in it, my expectations were 11 going into it. Just set them nice and low. But I love myself a good creature, stuff like that. So I was pretty excited.
Oh yeah!
So what would you guys expecting the rating to be on a scale of 1 to elf?
1 to elf.
1 to elf.
Angry elf.
Angry elf. Justin's a barn elf. Mine's I have no idea elf.
Like those.
If I was actually giving. If I was actually giving a serious rating, I would have probably said I was hoping. I didn't have the super high hopes, but like I said, I wanted to love it so much, so I probably was hoping it would be like a 7. I thought that'd be fair.
That's a good number. That's fair.
Yeah, 7's a nice number. I was gonna go with a flat 5 because I didn't know if it was gonna be good, if it was gonna be bad, what the story, the premise was.
Mhm.
Um,
Start right in
I
the
didn't
middle.
watch a trailer. It was just straight up just the name of the movie. That's all I knew going into this. And after watching A Wonderful Knife and being incredibly let down at how meh that movie was, that's what I was expecting for this. But we'll get into it, and I'll let you guys know that it's probably a little more than a 5.
All right.
All
All
right,
right, kick us
Waterboy,
off.
put
Let's
on
go.
your snowshoes and let's go.
All right.
Yeah, let's get in
I
this.
put on my snow pants.
Let's snowmobile our way through this.
Wop, wop, wop.
All right, so we're going to start off with a man tying a chain to what looks like a support beam of a barn and attempting to start up a tractor, only to realize something messed with the wiring. Then he starts to douse the whole place in gasoline, and we get a shot through the elf's eyes before cutting to the man attempting to escape and being struck with was it a flaming tire?
Yep.
And it's tossed out the window and left for dead.
Good game.
That's
Awesome.
good game. Fast forward 1 year, we meet our family, Bill, Carol, and their 2 kids, Nora and Lucas, heading to their new home in Norway.
You know their fucking names?
Yeah. I dove to find them. Dude.
I went on to IMDb and I couldn't find their names. And then listening to the movie, I've just got mom, dad, brother, sister for most of my notes.
It's okay.
Me too.
It's okay.
time.
I'm the prepared one this time.
I had no time to study this. I'm like,
I watched the whole movie this time. Can you believe?
I
the
literally,
guy,
I
I think
sat
it's the
down in the
dad.
first 5 minutes of this movie. I'm like, great, fucking subtitles. It's 10:30 at night. What am I doing?
Gotta take you like
Subtitles.
Rosetta Stone Norwegian.
Why-
He
why
speaks
you
in
watch the
Norwegian in the very
subtitles?
beginning. He doesn't speak
Oh,
English in the very
okay.
beginning.
Yeah. I was like, is this
Okay.
gonna be like this the whole time? I'm like, okay.
I know I panicked too. I was like, oh no, what have we done?
Cue the heading to a home in Norway that he had inherited. Cue the excitement for the moose sign. Say moose, and we witness moose right. Little baby moose meet father moose rushing their car, and that's a pretty good Norwegian welcome. And
It's
we get
it's not Russian. It's Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Yeah, it's not Russian.
Isn't that what he said?
No, I
He
did.
said-
No, I did. I said the Norwegian.
No, he said Russian, and then
No,
he said
I
moose.
said that the moose was rushing their vehicle.
Oh my god.
And then we get a glimpse of the one cop of this whole place saving the day. Oh, American. I love the Kardashians. Arriving at the house, Bill plans on making the barn into a bed and breakfast Airbnb. Lucas is curious and he's roaming around the barn and he hears some noise. Cue the movie title, Lucas running inside the house. There's something in the barn. Time for some family fun. Bill states for thousands of years, Norwegians have come out to witness the great northern lights, but you can't see shit because the sky is too dark. Bedtime, and Lucas is peeking through his window at the barn, and we see yellow eyes staring back. Big nope. Venturing into the town the next day, we get a nice welcoming in the coffee shop. Nice onesie. Everybody's looking at them like they got 3 heads. Lucas finding an elf museum, and we meet Tor Age. I don't know how to really.
Right.
I didn't know
Torag.
his movie until the end. It's Torag.
Torag. Okay. Torag. Lets Lucas know that they are barn elves, and if you make them happy, they'll help you. And if you piss them off, they will get rid of you. Let's get the rules. They hate loud noises, they hate change, and they hate light. Pretty much a lot of people. So no rave parties. Night falls, and Lucas makes a trip back into the barn with the suspicion of there being a barn elf. Turning the light off, remembering the rule, we get our first glimpse of the barn elf. If you give an elf a cookie, he'll want another one. Lucas knocks the light, and then the elf disappears. Pan over to Nora with her friend before the connection fails and her crying, but it's okay because she just needs some happy vision. Bill attempting to learn some Norwegian, practically fluent now. It's nice to milk you. Walking out to shovel, realizing that it's already been cleared. Lucas, knowing it was the barn elf, he's in his room coloring, and this kid is how old and he still can't understand the lines.
You
The
can't
elf-
either, Waterboy, and you've got kids.
I don't know. Pops out and wants another cookie. but disappears when Carol walks in. Time to unpack and get that Christmas spirit going, handing out flyers for a party at their barn and cutting their own Christmas tree. And then we get some TV in there with nothing but the winter games on. The barn elf even helping cut all of the firewood. Short lived, Bill set up Christmas lights all around the barn, complete with a motion activated Santa, further pissing the elf off. Next morning, everything is trashed, including Santa, but it could be the moose coming back for revenge. Inside the barn, Bill and Carol are setting up for the party, Christmas lights and all. We get a glimpse of the elf pushing a barrel over the side and it crashing right into Sean's turn.
Sorry, I was muted.
I was just gonna say that was awkward.
That was very awkward. Long pause for dramatic effect.
Yeah, I was like, Waterboy actually did a good transition, and Sean just like fumbled it.
I fumbled it. Guys, I feel like the guy at the beginning of this movie 100% deserved to die.
Yes. Well, my first initial, the first part of this movie, pretty slow burn, even getting our glimpse of the elf. There's a small, subtle splash of comedy at parts, but it just felt really boring with little suspense build.
Dude, he takes way too long to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so nonchalant about it. He's completely fine.
100%.
And then I've seen, even if you've only seen one horror movie in your entire fucking life, I repeat, you do not, come here, I'm going to tell you this again. You do not walk over to a baby stroller that has entered your path all by itself with a blanket over the top. First off, you get the fuck out of there. Secondly, you do not remove that blanket or whatever's over the top of it. All right, bear trap or not, this guy is an absolute imbecile.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He deserved it, honestly.
When you were talking about the moose, did you guys listen to what the cop says? She's like, "Oh, in Norway, if you mess with nature, it will punch you right in the faces."
Right.
Yep. Love it. Loved it.
And then, I mean, I'm not trying to judge the dad in this family, but that mom is just way too hot for him. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy. Yeah, I must say, like, when I wrote about this beginning of the movie, like, this movie's pacing is out of control. Like, it's so uneven. Like, the first half is so much slower. But I actually stayed involved just because the dad, I don't know, I thought he was so freaking funny. Like, just how stupid he was. I don't know. Like, I was like, I don't know. I was engaged in it. Like, he was so ridiculous. I did like it. But I said, like, this first movie, I did check the time halfway through. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what's going on with this right now? Like, but
have you guys ever seen Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone?
No.
No. There's a really geeky pot dispensary owner, and it's the dad from this movie.
Yep.
He plays the part perfectly.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this dad was actually really funny, just how ridiculous he was.
The whole family's got like a little bit of comedy. When they're walking around downtown and the daughter's like, "It's fucking freezing." And the mom goes, "Don't say the F word." She goes, "Excuse me, it's fucking cold."
I did like the family because I said that the first half is the very slow burn through the beginning of this, but there was something like the family did a good enough job that it's kept me like interested into, and luckily, as we'll see as the movie progresses, the payoff I thought was pretty good. Yeah. So what do we got, Sean?
I got one more question for you guys. The lady cop.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you say police in Norwegian, or were they trying to spell polite across her shoulders?
That might just be police in Norwegian, and it sounds
spelling,
like polite.
All right, because it felt like polite.
Yeah,
but
very polite.
All right, the barn elf almost kills the dad because he's still pissed off about the lights. Later that night, we get a fun, festive barn dinner with almost the entire town, and the speech about Will in his nuts. Absolutely wild. I don't know. This guy's Norwegian is fucking horrible. But the drinks are flowing for all the adults and underage girls in the neighborhood. The neighbors share some rumors about the farm being haunted, and the sister can't quite hold her liquor as she barfs all over the barn elf, who's right below them in the barn boards looking up. Carol and the daughter make their way back inside, and they have an argument. And guess what, guys? I finally know the stepmom's name. We are 40 minutes into this fucking movie, and I know her name. That's the first name I found out in this movie is Carol.
Caroline.
The weird guy from the center of town who is Torog. Waterboy found that out way before I did. So the weird guy in the center of the town breaks down some porridge rules for the barn elf. We jump forward a couple minutes, and now the barn elf is trashing their kitchen and pushing the dad, Bill, found out his name just now, down the stairs. Carol goes to investigate with a frozen cow leg as her weapon of choice. There is so many things that you could take downstairs, and you grab a frozen, skinned cow leg?
Hey, have you ever got hit by a frozen leg? Cow skin leg?
You have?
I mean, no, I haven't either.
You
I'm
have?
just saying, let's just not judge it, is what I meant.
All right, no king shaming. All right.
Yeah, I just meant you never know.
I mean, you know, to each their own. I mean, you want beef or chicken?
Right.
That would be a great punchline if she walked into that kitchen to fuck up this thing and she went beef or chicken.
They dropped the ball there.
Oh my god! They call the lady cop again. I don't know her name at all. I looked on IMDb and it's just lady cop.
She didn't look that up. So
she suggests it's either a fox or a ghost, and to go easy on the booze.
Yes, I love it.
I like how the dad just openly accepts everything she says, and she's like, "Makes sense."
yeah.
This dad is awesome. He's so
His dad
funny.
is Justin.
Yes, he's so funny. I love it.
We get a Justin in every movie we do.
I love it.
Now we get some sweet pillow talk between Bill and Carol, and about how his uncle fell out of his second floor window and accidentally caught himself on fire, and that's how he died. Barn's definitely not haunted by him.
No, you hate that. It happens more often.
Hate when
than
that
you think,
happens.
really.
Yeah, oh,
We cue to a nasty ass Christmas Eve dinner that not only looks bad, smells worse, and probably tastes just as bad as you think it would. Bro, this entire family looks like it's changing a dirty diaper trying to eat this fish.
All right.
Carol finally snaps and just says, fuck it all, and stomps off. Bill gets hungry and he tries to eat it again, and it doesn't work. So later on that night, he decides to raid the fridge, and he finds a bowl that's not too hot, not too cold, but it's just right. And he eats all of the porridge that the son had made for the barn elf. The son's pissed, and he has no choice now but to leave him a plate of lutefisk. This barn elf, you know, he's got an open mind. He walks over, he tries it, and he is absolutely disgusted to the point that it turns this elf into a homicidal, sledgehammering, wielding maniac whose second kill of this entire movie is the local Santa cosplayer. I love this kill.
Poor dude.
Bill
Me too.
is
So good.
Bill's now getting curious as he looks out the window for Santa, and he goes outside and he sees some gifts on his porch, and it brings a smile to his face and a tear to his eye. He hears something coming from the barn, and he goes to investigate, and instead finds Santa strung up by Christmas lights with an ice pick through his head. The family now tries to flee on their 27th time snow-covered car. How many times you got to clean it off in this fucking place? And instead, they're meted by the barn elf, who's trying to smash in their windshield. And instead, they turn on the lights, and guess what, guys? This elf gets blinded by the light.
Yeah, that black douche.
The family thinks it's an elf, but Bill, who is Justin in this movie, thinks it's actually a child who ran away from home heading to a Nordic death metal festival.
Dude, so awesome, right?
This is why you like the elves.
That's
Yeah.
not far fetched, honestly.
No, it's the first thing I
No,
would
not at all. Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Why would it not?
You need a ride?
The elf lets out an absolute roar, confirming that he was going to a death metal festival, and now we have an entire horde that looks like the Wall of Death and is pissed off and breaking into their house. This whole scene reminds me of the scene where like the elf ninjas from Krampus start crashing in through the windows.
Mm-hmm.
An epic fight scene now breaks out involving snow shovels, eating wedding rings, throwing ninja stars, pitchforks, axes, Christmas tree toppers, and a softball bat. This daughter got a Griffey swing and a half, guys. She can swing a bat. This family now runs into the kitchen to fend off the elves. And Justin, I'm going to need you to stick a cork in this because the polite has showed up to assess the situation.
Oh.
All right, so what do you guys think about these set of scenes that Sean discovered? What do you guys got?
It does ramp up more here, especially not knowing the carnage that had actually awaited from the angry elf. The dad eating the porridge, fuck, and then Lucas giving the elf the fish. Again, what the fuck?
You can even see it in Lucas's face. He's like, this elf ain't gonna like this.
No. Nah. And I've seen like people try this stuff and like it just makes everybody puke. I don't know how this is like an
It
acquired
doesn't
taste
even
or
look
like
edible.
no.
It looks fake. It looks like, you know, that clear wax,
Mm-hmm.
like surfboard wax. It looks like he's eating surfboard wax.
So gross. And then we see all the other elves coming out, and you know it reminded me a little bit. I don't know if you've seen the Goosebumps with those gnomes.
Yeah.
The goose. That's what it reminded me of course, without all the craziness. And then thinking there was only one of them, and then seeing the group, I'm like, where the fuck did they come from? And it's
Papa Smurf, Papa Smurf.
yeah, I thought of the Smurfs too. It's like this. Is this like some angry Smurfs going on here? But it did ramp up for me a little bit here. A lot better than the first third of the movie for sure.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, the pacing is out of control. When you have a movie that's a slow burn like that, a lot of times it stays like that for so long, and like you get some kind of maybe minor payoff. When this started amping up, I started having heart palpitations. I was on the floor.
You
dying
got
laughing.
whiskey throttle.
When there was when they were battling with snow shovels and stuff. This was just the greatest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And it just gets, oh my god, it just gets so much better. Absolutely out of control. Norwegian barn elves are my new favorite thing in the whole entire world of anything ever. I absolutely love it.
Ever.
This dad is so funny. When he thought that thing was a kid going into like a Norwegian like metal festival, funniest thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life.
That was a perfect line delivery too. Just the way he delivered it. It was like that was what he was fully expecting to believe.
Yeah, because have you guys heard that dwarf metal band? Like they, oh my god, they should have put the,
Wait.
you know, was it Windrose?
Don't
like,
tell me there's actually a dwarf metal band.
Dude, yeah, Dustin's a big fan. Shout out Dustin. Like he's dude. He tried to make me listen to him. Listen to the song called like "Diggy Diggy Hole." It's about dwarf. No, I'm not even joking.
That's not real.
No, please. If you do anything after this
Are they
podcast,
going on tour with Limp Bizkit too?
please look up Windrose. Please do it for me.
Can you please
Oh.
use that song
It's like,
for the
we
top
Whatever
are
promo
dwarves.
you cut.
for the promo?
I'm going to. They missed it. Please look that up. Like it's about digging the holes as being dwarfs. It is the greatest thing. It's so
Dig
ridiculous.
holes, dig holes. It's off to Norway we go.
Oh yeah, that's the chorus. You did. Know.
Is it really?
It's pretty close. Yes. I'll send it to you guys after this. But all right, all right. Are we moving on?
Real quick, did you guys notice this? The guy playing Santa just didn't wear a beard. He literally wore a mask that looked just like our barn elf.
Yeah. So
Oh
good.
shit.
Oh.
It took me a minute to realize it.
All right, so now we got policewomen showing up, and right away they're like, "It's elves! It's elves! Go get your gun!" It's crazy. They're cutting the bullshit. They're telling this woman what it is now. Say, "Go get your gun. Let's get in here." And she's like, "Crazy Americans." Like my
I'm
gun
at
is
home
this-
watching Love Actually, and there's
Yeah, the
stuff
facts-
in the oven. I'd like to go home now.
Yeah, I got a pork belly in the oven. I'm watching Love Actually, and it's actually my favorite part right now. Like, that was hilarious. I've never even seen Love Actually, but that was pretty funny. So anyway, they go outside to get her gun, and there is an elf riding a snowmobile. Like it just keeps getting better. And this elf, I was not expecting this, is flying at her. It runs over the cop, completely goes over her, so she gets destroyed by the friggin' motor and shoots blood and guts all over the family. So we get some crazy gore out of absolutely nowhere. Then this thing crashes into the barn. And in the barn now, there's elves everywhere. One of the elves picks up the gun, and another elf runs in, shoots the friggin' elf. And then we see the elf looking confused, and you see it pointing the gun at his head, and then it cuts away, and you see it blows his head off.
Yeah, he just violated gun etiquette safety 101.
Yeah, like what is going on? And then we cut to the family, who now my favorite character in the whole world, the dad was bitten, and he basically says, "Lucas, I need you to kill me when I start changing. I can't do this. I can't become one of them. Like, you guys
Justin,
have to
stop it.
promise me. And they're like, stop it. That's not how it works. They're like, Dad, that's zombies, not elves. At like just the greatest thing I've ever seen ever. And then we get these elves making a plan in the living room. And dude, you see they're watching skiing and they're like doing the skiing thing.
One of them was having like a heart to heart,
Yeah, it's so
on
good.
the couch.
They go to the liquor cabinet. You see them grabbing wine. They're grabbing whiskey. They're grabbing the bourbon. And we have a full-blown elf party. This is so freaking good. You have one elf, you see the main elf, he's struggling with everything. Everyone else is just getting absolutely hammered while the family's all bloody in the upstairs, and they're actually reminiscing and having some bonding. And then you cut back downstairs. There's pillow fights going on. They are having like batting practice. There's pillow fights. And we realize the dad and son now, they got to do something. So they got to go. So they're sneaking out of the house. They see two elves just pissing and like laughing at each other. They're pissing out in the snow.
Don't you leave out what they're laughing at.
Oh, yeah. They're looking at each other, pissing and laughing at each other. This is just absolutely out of control. But then never mind, the father and the son, I still don't know the dad's name, but they grab Bill and Lucas there. They grab like one of those sled things. So he's pushing his son on like the sled. Meanwhile, the mom and daughter up there making with moonshine, they're making Christmas ornament Molotov cocktails.
That's a mouthful.
That's a lot.
You killed that. Usually you stumble on words and forget letters, but you killed that.
Oh, it's like one of those things. If it's like a tough word, I'll master it, and then it'll be like a normal thing, and I can't say it, and I just anyway.
Comfortable.
I'm not even gonna say it. Dude, this chase scene we get is my favorite thing I've ever seen in the history of movies. These elves are chasing them on sleds as the father. They're going so fast, the snow is flying by, and they're throwing saw blades. They're just launching saw blades
like Ghost of Mars.
Yeah, it is the greatest thing. I literally remember. I wrote, "This is my favorite thing in the history of ever." And meanwhile, as this is happening, you cut back at the home, and they're putting a ladder up to the room. The mom pushes it over. She starts throwing the Molotov cocktails at the elves. We got explosions now going on all over the place. She is blowing these elves up. Meanwhile, cut back to the chase scene. We see a moose. Oh God, nature's coming back. The dad hits the brakes, but the elves keep going. The moose just ends up moving, and the elves just slow by and stop. They slow down and stop, and you're like, oh, nothing bad's gonna happen. And then they get exploded by an 18-wheeler. We cut back to the mom and daughter bonding, and all of a sudden an elf comes through the fireplace and attacks the mom as the daughter runs for her life, chased out to the woods, where she starts seeing elf's eyes everywhere. The mom goes crazy. She starts kicking these things' ass. She is hitting them with bats. She grabs a fire poker, and she impales two of these. She goes downstairs. We see hungover elves everywhere. One of the elves is literally just farting. It's hungover. There is just people passed out, like the most epic party that you used to go to, but the elves had it. And then we get to, they burst into Torog. They're like, help us, angry elves, they're taking my daughter. And the guy's like, wait, what? Like, grab your gun. He's like, I don't have a gun. What's up with you Americans? And so now Torog is driving back to the house, and they're telling him to go fast. But he's like, come on, drinking and driving is illegal. I had 2 drinks. Like, I'm trying to take it slow. He's like, what did you guys even do to like make it this bad anywhere? He's like, we broke all the rules. And they pull up, and there is just the aesthetics now is awesome, because you just got this. They're all outside. We got snow everywhere. You got dead elves everywhere, passed out elves everywhere. They go into the barn. We see a trapdoor. And they're like, let's go. So we're going into the trapdoor, and these elves, I just completely lost my place. Anyway, so Torog's cut that shit out. Torog's like basically saying, like, we have to understand them. Like, you Americans just want to shoot everyone in the face. Like, this isn't Detroit. Like, I love how he said this isn't Detroit. This isn't Detroit. Like, we can talk about this.
Have you ever heard of peace treaty?
Yeah, have you ever heard of peace treaty?
We find neutral ground.
He's like, what about Mother Teresa? Have you guys ever heard of Mother Teresa? And then they get to the place where they see the mom and Nora all tied up. And we see the elf with the gun. And this is literally where he says what Sean just said. He's like, have you ever heard of the peace treaty? and he gets shot right then, just right away. Boom, shot, friggin' shot.
Dude, he sounds like the guy from Ghost of Mars, dude.
Right? Yeah, how the elves
He lowers his gun like the peace treaty's working too, and then he
Yeah.
just shoots him anyways.
just still shoots him. You're like, oh my god, like this is actually gonna work. And you see at this point, you see the lead elf of the movie, and you see the son like putting his hand over his heart, trying to have little heart to heart with them. And all of a sudden, the elf changes. He's like, you know what? These guys are good. He fed me those cookies, so he runs and unties them, and we get an epic chase scene again with the lead elf on their side. And I love when the dad's like, why does this other elf have the only gun in Norway? No one else has a gun besides
He's
this one
just shooting
friggin'
like
elf.
crazy.
Yeah, just blasting the whole entire time. The good elf is arguing with the other elves, and the other elf goes to shoot him. Luckily, that the gun is empty. They're in the barn right now, and we get this epic scene with the mom and daughter getting some stuff ready. And they're like, "Oh, we got this." So everyone starts jumping out of the barn window. As the daughter makes a paper airplane, you see the fuel dripping. She makes a paper airplane. The mom lights this thing on fire, and they get the awesome one line like, "Merry Christmas, you little fuckers." Throws the paper airplane. Absolutely, we get an incredible explosion. They're jumping out windows. They're outside now. This barn is exploding. Everything is on fire. And all of a sudden, we see Torog is alive. He's tied up, but the elves are bringing him back. It's a nice, peaceful thing. And they're all sad all of a sudden. Like, well, you know, the elf did just lose his home. And they're like, what should we do? And they're kind of looking at Tor like, hey, maybe like he can live with you. And they end up bringing the lead elf to the Tor museum, and they let him live.
This is my museum. No one comes here.
Yeah, no one comes here.
No visitors.
Very quiet. You can live here. And I love that, like, the daughter's like 20 minutes ago, like, everyone was just trying to kill us, but now all of a sudden, let's be friends now. Like, complete change of pace. The family's all standing outside of that. And like, oh my God, there it is. They look up. We see the Northern Lights. Merry Christmas. The end. Boom.
I like how Justin, I mean, Bill goes, you know, hey, all things aside, this was a pretty great Christmas.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
no, people died. And he's like, yeah, but we're smiling.
Yeah, we're smiling. And the Northern
There's a bright side.
All right. I want to know what kind of agreement that Torog came with the other elves for them to leave him alone.
Definitely some BDSM. I mean, he was all tied up when he came back.
That's probably not it. He was just a really peaceful guy, and sometimes maybe he just got some sense into it, and it's all about being.
I don't know. Did you see what was in his house before they went driving?
Look, he respects the Nordic mythology and the rules, and he won them over. Torog is the man.
Torog.
So my very first note on this entire set of scenes, Justin, goes, oh my God, that cop kill scene was fucking awesome. And holy shit, the barn elf shooting the other elf by accident and then blowing his own face off. Absolutely priceless. Okay, Justin, I agree. Norwegian barn elves are now my new favorite Christmas character ever.
My only notes, I'm not even going to go over anything I just said. I just want to say the last 45 minutes are the greatest thing in ever. Is the movie's pacing is incredibly uneven, but what a payoff. So freaking good. And that's why I just want to say the last 45 minutes is the greatest thing I've ever seen ever.
That whole snowmobile scene, I know people are going to be like, I'd love to kill or anything like that. I think my favorite thing is that one elf that's standing in the middle of the yard, jumping up and down, cheering him on while he's waiting for a turn that he never gets.
Right? There's so much awesome stuff like that going on with just like the elves hung over, the one like the elves are farting, they're laughing at each other, they're outside pissing, there's a pillow fight.
Dude, we get a saw blade death race.
That's got to be one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history.
Never been done before, dude.
We also get, like you said, the moonshine exploding Christmas ornaments.
Like, what a payoff.
The cheese in this movie is so good.
It's so cheesy. And that's what I mean. Like, when we're talking about how great this is, of course, it's friggin' silly and ridiculous and absolutely
super cheesy.
So stupid. And that's what I love. Love it.
And you know what they say, Justin? If you can't laugh at yourself, you're not whole at heart. And I fully appreciate both those elves laughing at that one elf's penis while they're peeing because it's probably really small.
That's
I mean,
true.
they're small to begin with. Like the elves, like they're already small, like little dudes. So, and it's freezing there. It's so cold.
That's true. You gotta take that into account.
Yeah.
Shrinkage.
And then when they go into the barn and they pull up the trap like the trap door, is that like a door to Narnia? Where the fuck did these elves come
Dude,
from?
that's what I'm like. First, they were in like it almost looked like an abandoned like train station, like or like
Yeah.
old sewer system, and then
Yeah.
they go out and then they're in the
I was
Smurf
waiting for
village.
like Mikey to be like, Raph, get the pizza.
So good. I know. Just more of this ridiculousness. Give me all
Yeah.
the cheese in this movie. Give it to me all. Love it.
Richard cheese.
So I did write down like some random notes of things that first popped into my head, and this happened during like the elf rager scene. I was like, random thought, they're all male barn elves, right? So how do they reproduce?
Oh,
No, don't answer that. I don't want to know.
Mm.
No, I
Black.
do. I
You
No,
have the
probably-
answer?
What I
Well,
got pregnant.
no, I do have the answer. Well, I mean, common sense. Probably like the women probably just aren't the fighters. You know what I mean? Like there's probably like the elves.
But they
have
go
to
back
be-
to the elf town, and I didn't see anyone.
There's not a
That's
single-
why that popped into my head.
But they're probably inside with the kids or something. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to be in
I didn't
part
hear
of the battle.
one- I
You
didn't
gotta
hear-
protect them
I didn't hear
Yeah.
one elf baby, Justin.
because they don't like sign. They're quiet. They teach,
Yeah, that's
they teach them
Huh?
quietness.
Yeah. All right. And then I've got one more, and this is that scene where the daughter's running through the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I go, for some reason, she's running through the snow, and all I can think about is this takes place on Christmas Eve. So when does Santa show up and fuck these elves up and save Christmas? Never mind,
true.
she just got dragged away in the woods by her feet. All good.
Yep.
How about when
And
they
then-
jumped out the window and then there was just like the perfect pile of snow for them to jump onto?
Everyone but the dad.
See, incredible.
well,
That's all.
When you clean off your car multiple times a day, you're gonna make a pile.
That's true.
Dude, this played out like an 80s ridiculous cheesy movie in the snow of Norway. Just incredible.
Dude, how does knocking the house only break one icicle?
I don't know. And then, do you guys want to hear a fun fact?
Yep.
Yes.
The lead elf in this movie is voiced by Alex Terrible.
Seriously?
No, but it sounds good, right?
I was gonna say, what are you talking about?
I would have been like, that would have sounded perfect.
And then they missed, like, you know how you said they missed an opportunity for the elves, like that hardcore band?
Yeah.
When they make the paper airplane and they light it on fire, tell me they did not miss the perfect opportunity to play Airplanes by Paramore. Airplanes in the night sky are killing elves.
Oh my god.
All right, you guys get anything else? You want to jump into our ratings?
Yeah, do final ratings and shit. Waterboy, you
great,
go start
great.
this off, Waterboy. What do you got for final thoughts and ratings?
Well, honestly, the first half of the movie was really boring. I mean, they had some little comedy parts in there, but then it started ramping up, with the kills and seeing the whole group of elves and just throwing everything together. Considerably low budget for this as well. I'm gonna give it a 6.9
Shut the fuck
out
up.
of 10.
You're a horrible human being. Why would you ever emphasize that number? Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, so the movie on the pacing is completely uneven. Obviously, if I had things perfect, I'd add a little bit in the beginning, probably cut out like 7.5 minutes of the beginning, and I'd add a little more building of suspense or something. That being said, I thought it actually makes the stakes a little bit because you do have that beginning and there's some character building, and by the end of the movie I actually was like rooting the family. At first I'm like, oh, this family's so stupid, I don't even care if this guy dies, and then I got to the point where he just like completely won me over and I was actually rooting for the family. And this movie's kind of almost like it's kind of like Rap God by Eminem a little bit, like through the beginning of the movie.
Just waiting for that fast verse.
It's good. It's a good song. You know what I mean? It's good, but like it's just like at the very end, all of a sudden he just kicks it up a notch. Yeah, like a second this movie hits that pace, it's just the end of Rap God, just going absolutely crazy. It's just like he builds and builds and builds, and then it just turned. I don't know why I even just thought of that. I didn't even know I was going to say
They're
that.
coming
a
at
second
you
ago.
with supersonic speed.
Right? And then just next thing you know, you got saw blades thrown at each other. I love the cheesy feel of this and everything. And like I said, thank God it did pick up. But I didn't even write a rating down because like I said, I just completely forgot. So I'm just gonna have to do it right off the top of my head right now. I would give this movie a 7.5.
Oh, I was going to say
I
7.1.
Yeah. So what do you got?
All right.
7.1?
Me? No.
Yeah.
My ending notes are Northern Lights in the end credits. Beautiful touch. I definitely wish I smoked some Northern Lights before watching this movie.
Oh my god.
Also, adopting barn elves like stray cats was priceless. It's a fun movie for sure. A little slow to start. Lots of puns and lots of cheese in this movie. The costumes and dialogue was great. The acting at some points wasn't its best, but it definitely picked up as the movie went on.
Yeah.
A lot of weird vibes at times, but I thoroughly enjoyed the watch. I'm going to give it a solid Waterboy rating out of 10, which is a 6.9, because I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this on a rewatch, but I definitely had a ton of fun talking about it and a ton of fun on the initial watch.
All right, so
yeah.
for rewatchability, right? So to rewatch this, same thing. I don't think I need the whole 30 minutes, but will I rewatch the ending 1,000 times? Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to rewatch it, you already know the beginning, so skip the first 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
If you've got chapter sections, start on chapter 5.
Yeah, start like to rewatch it. Just skip that first 30 minutes. Anyone got any fun facts or anything?
I don't. I did try to look some up, but I feel like this movie is way too new to have any fun facts. So unless we had the time to actually sit down and watch this and find our own Easter eggs and try to tie some stuff in, which I didn't. I didn't have anything.
I got a couple, which does suck. I didn't even have time to look for my Halloween reference, but like I said, this movie came out like a week ago. But I still usually would have found one, but like I said, no time at all. But all I do have is the coldest it got it a few times at night. They filmed this. All right, so they filmed this on location in Norway. Besides a few parts when it wasn't enough snow for them, they filmed them on stages in Lithuania, and they had to bring truckloads and truckloads of snow in to accomplish the whole vision of the film. But most of it was shot in Norway, which looked really cool. Both of the parents actually starred in another horror movie before together, called Dead Snow 2, Red vs. Dead. So they got minus 25 at night a few times, so they had to really, really wear some crazy layers and make sure they didn't get frostbite. And the director, what he wanted to do in this movie was he wanted to combine his two favorite Christmas movies when he was a kid, which were Christmas Vacation. So he wanted to have like a quirky family like Christmas Vacation and Gremlins. And I feel like if you think about it now, I kind of think he nailed his vision there. He wanted to and he said he wanted to do Nordic mythology. So I feel like he kind of crushed that. That was really good. And it's kind of all I got.
I like it. Yeah. I can dig it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right about. Do you want to tell #slash what we're doing next week?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a discussion podcast for next week. You guys tune in to see all of our little questions answered.
There's going to be questions on this podcast, much like Justin. Why do you go pee so much?
Do you even shake it? It's too quick.
Wow.
Why do you eat pancakes during Justin's discussions?
Remember that episode?
It was actually Olive Garden.
Are you eating fucking pancakes right now?
I was a little upset. I was trying to bring, sorry if I wanted to bring some professionalism to the podcast, but I feel like we've grown.
Well, at least I watch all the movies fully.
You did not watch.
You fully full of shit.
You ruined an Apocalypse episode.
You could have had a higher rating than a 3.7 had you just watched the end.
If you watched the end, you would have dropped that rating even worse.
No, you would have improved it. Don't you kink shame me, all right? Just because I like a musical.
Right. I'll give it an extra 0.5 because I did, see that little jump scare at the end.
All right, and this episode, the end. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Oh,
What'd you call me?